Welcome back class to the Polity Lakshmikant to the remaining part of the chapter Growth of Constitution under Crown Rule. So let's start. The first act is Government of India Act 1919 and it was important act and also known as Montagu Chelmsford reforms or Montfort reforms. So under this act, it separated the central and provincial subjects with the power to make laws on their respective subjects, and they divided provincial subjects into two parts. So the first is transferred subjects, and they were administered by the Governor General with the help of his council, and they were responsible to the Legislative Council. And the second subject is reserved subjects, which were to be administered by Governor General and his Executive Council, but were not responsible to the Legislative Council. Through this act, the dual scheme of governance was introduced, that is diarchy, and it also introduced for the first time the bicameralisms, that is upper house and lower house, and it in this through this act 3 out of 6 members of Viceroy Executive Council to be Indians. 3 out of 6 members of Viceroy Executive Councils were to be Indians, and it provided for the establishment of Public Service Commission. Hence, a Central Public Service Commission was set up in 1926. It also granted franchise to the limited number of people on the basis of property, tax, or education, and it extended the principle of communal representation by providing separate electorate for 6 Christians, Anglo-Indians, and Europeans, and it also separated provincial budget from the central budget and authorized the provincial legislature to enact their budgets, and Indian Legislative Council was to be called as Indian Legislature by this act. So what is the significance of this act? It was the first time that British government declared its intention of introducing responsible government in the country. And after this act, Simon Commission in 1927 formed, and Rowlatt Act, which authorized government to imprison any person without trial and conviction in a court of law, and it was intended as steps toward complete responsible government. And the Viceroy, however, retained control of the central government, and role of mostly elected bicameral legislature remained advisory, and the division of the subjects that is reserved and transferred were not satisfactory. Another important act, or it was another important step, introduction of a responsible government, that is Government of India Act 1935, and through this act, it provided for the establishment of All India Federation consistent of provinces and princely states. It provided for division of subjects on the basis of federalist, provincialist, and concurrent list. It also abolished the diarchy in the provinces and introduced diarchy in the provincial autonomy, and it provided for the adoption of diarchy at the center, and consequently federal subjects were divided into reserved and transfer subjects. It introduced bicameralism, that is upper house or lower house, in 6 out of 11 provinces, that is Madras, Bombay, Bengal, United Provinces, Bihar, and Assam. And it extended the franchise more than 10% of total population of the voting right. It provided for the establishment of Reserve Bank of India to control the currency and credit of the country, and it provided for the establishment of not only Federal Public Service Commission but also a Provincial Public Service Commission and Joint Public Service Commission, and it provided for the establishment of Federal Court, which was set up in 1937. So the drawbacks of this act is uh, there were no Bill of Rights, or means no rights were given, and numerous safeguards and special responsibilities to the Governor General worked as a brave in the proper functioning of act, and it provides governor still had extensive power, and extension of states of communal electorate promoted separatist tendencies, and which results in the partition of India, and this act provided a rigid constitution with no possibility of internal growth, and right of amendment was reserved with the British Parliament. uh, then after this act, what will happen, that in this act, Government of India Act, recommendations of Simon Commission were added in the Government of India Act 1935, and it impact on the civil disobedience movement. This act is also the impact of civil disobedience movement or salt satyagraha 1930, and Government of India Act 1935 also following the recommendations of three round table conferences which held in 1930, 1931 and 1932, and it also incorporate the provisions of Gandhi-Irwin Pact and also the provisions of Pune Pact between Gandhi and Dr. Ambedkar. Last act is Indian Independence Act 1947 or Government of India Act 1947. So the significance of this act is British rule came to an end by this act, and India became independent on 15th August 1947. So the causes of this act were World War II and British indulgence in it, which weakened British economically, and role of outside India as well as in India, Indian National Army, and Critt's proposed mission, and Quit India movement launched by Gandhi in 1942. These are the points which are responsible to the Government of India Act of 1947. So the features or the provisions of this act, that it ended the British rule in India and declared India as an independent and sovereign state, and it provided the creation of two independent dominions, that is India and Pakistan, and these dominions had the right to cede from the British Commonwealth, and the governor general and provincial governors to act as constitution had. It discontinued the appointment of civil services, reservation of posts by Secretary of State of India, and it also empowered the constituent assembly of the two dominions to frame and adopt any constitution for their respective nations, and to repeal any act of British Parliament, including Independence Act itself, and Crown ceased to be the source of authority and dominion status was given. So some important points to remember, that the Lord Mountbatten was the last British Governor General of India and first Governor General of Free India, and C. Rajagopalachari, last Governor General of India and first Indian Governor General. And what are the criticisms about this? That it get independence, India get independence, but divided into two portions, and Indian independence was much delayed, and for princely states, the provision was made that they were free to join Dominion of India or Pakistan or remain as independent. So we have complete our first chapter. Thank you, class.